Good morning, children. How are you all? So today onwards, we're going to start computers also. So let us start with a topic about files and folders. Okay, so let's get started. So in this particular topic, we will be learning about how to get started with Windows 8, how to navigate between different uh, tabs available in Windows 8, then how can we manage files and folders, then recycle bin and search options. Firstly, how to get started with Windows 8. So when you're starting up Windows 8 is what is available in your textbook, but nowadays we are following Windows 10. It will require you to create an account name and password that you will use to sign in. See, what it is when you buy a new computer or when you have a computer in your house, how do you start a computer? Okay, so what are you supposed to do when you just start up your software Windows? What do you require is you need to create an account. You all have, right? You all have a mobile phone, right? You create a account name, you create a password. People put either 1 2 3 4 numbers or pattern, right? You will have dots and you have to join the dots. You create a pattern. Likewise, your computer system also does have. See, whenever you come to the school, your computer systems are logged, right? You need to click and put the password. Yes. So the same thing you're supposed to do it. So once you switch on your computer, you will be able to see the front screen. On your screen, you're able to see like this lock screen. It will be your lock screen. You have to unlock your computer. So click anywhere on the lock screen. You have to click anywhere on the lock screen. So once you click on anywhere on the lock screen, an account name and picture will appear where you are supposed to type the password and put enter key. Correct? And once you do put the password and enter key, you will reach to this particular screen. Yes, this is a Windows 8 screen, children. So you'll reach up to this particular screen. This is your start screen. What it is? This is your start screen where you can see so many different options are available. So you want to go to desktop from where you can operate your different applications. So you're supposed to click on the desktop. So there are several ways to navigate through to Windows 8, including hot corners and keyboard shortcuts. Using hot corners, to use a hot corner, just move the mouse at any corner of the screen and it will open a toolbar. Each corner performs a different task. Like lower left, when you use an application, you can click in here to the lower left corner to start a screen. Let me show you. You are able to see my screen also. See my cursor, I am going to take up to the left corner. It will give me this particular option, right? From there, I can select anywhere. These are all about your hot corners. And if you come towards your right side corner, just follow my mouse pointer, children. On the screen, you're able to see my mouse pointer. Please follow my mouse pointer. Here you can see there are notifications which you have studied in your previous classes. Right hand corner, you'll be able to see the notification. Beside that, you're able to see the calendars and times. Then beside that is your battery level, then your internet connection, volumes. So these are nothing but your hot corners. Now coming to the main page, that is your desktop screen. So once you get into this one, if you are having several apps open, you can switch between them by moving the mouse up and left corner. In Windows 8, if anybody is using Windows 8, this will be applicable for you. But nowadays, the systems are updated, children. My system is Windows 10. If you people are having the latest version, it is much more easier. So this is how you're able to see on the screen. This is how your desktop screen is visible. So the background where you can see this window, right? You're able to see this windows and all. So this is called as desktop background. What it is? This is the background. And the small files you're able to see, right? These files which you're able to see, these images, what do we call for them? We call for them as icons. We call them as icons. These are files, but with different pictures, right? Why? Because the pictures indicate what kind of a file it is. Like for example, you're able to see the Zoom file, right? This is a Zoom software. The picture of this is like a camera. Then you can see one list of books. It's a Word file. It's a file. It's a page file, right? It's a Word file. Then you can see different softwares available. So each and every file and softwares are having different pictures. So we call them as icons. Yes. Now what is a file, children? What is a file? File is a collection of related information. File is a collection of related information. It is just like your classroom notebook. Like if you are having English notebook, correct? English file. So all the pages inside that will have which subject matter written in that? English only, right? So it's all related to English. Do you write Hindi in English? Do you write Kannada in English? Do you write maths in English? No, right? So you don't mix up the information. Otherwise, it will become very difficult for us to search the information. The same way it happens in the computer also. Whenever we are storing any information in a file, we make sure that the file in which we are writing the information is having information of the related file only, correct? And it is stored as a separate unit. It is stored separately with a unique name. Every file we write some separate names for that, correct? Like for example, on my screen now you're able to see I have one file, Word file. Okay, this particular file has the list of the books in it. So all the information present in this particular file is having list of the books. Then there is one more file here down. You can see over here on my screen, this answer key. Yes, this file is having answers for the worksheets which I send you. So I don't open worksheet answer key and put the list of the books over there. Obviously it's confusing, right? It makes everything confusing. That's the reason we store separate information in separate files and we give a unique name for that. Why do we give name? So that it becomes easy for us to search the file whenever we require to open it. It is just like how you make your separate notebooks for the different subject in the school. Similarly, the data and information stored in a computer is called a digital file. See children, whatever you write in your notebook is a notebook file, correct? But whatever information you store on your computer system, we can't say it as a normal file, but then we say it as a digital file because it is stored in the computer, digital device. So all these files and all these files which we store in the computer, we call it them as digital file. A digital file can be anything. It can be a written matter. It can be a music file. It can be a audio video file. Yes, it can be a presentation file. It can have pictures on that. Anything can be present on a file. In a computer, when you write something, you have to save the information, correct? Obviously, if you see, imagine I'm just opening a Windows file, sorry, Word file. Yes, I'll just increase the font. Children, just observe whatever I am doing on the screen. You'll be able to understand the things happening. I'm writing class students. Yes. Now I've written something here. I will, if I close this, will it be available for me? No, right? I have to save it first. Otherwise, if I just close it, it is asking me, do you want to save anything which you have made on this particular document? If I click on save, it will ask me a name. If I say don't save, it is closed. So whatever I've written, if I want this to be permanently available on my computer system, I have to save this file. So what will I do? I will click on save option. See, when I click on save option, save in dialog box, this particular box which appears now, which has appeared now, is called as save as dialog box. What it is called as? Dialog box. Now, which dialog box is it? It is save as dialog box. So I have to write. Can you see here? It's called as file name. So it is asking us to write a file name for it. So I have to give a file name. So what will I say? I'll write my name, Premlata. Yes. Now can you see on the screen, the file name has become as Premlata now? Yes. Yes. Now when I close this one, if I want to reopen again, it will be available. Like how you used to do for paintings and everything. So once you do painting, you save the files, right? And give a name to it. It is exactly the same name. So whatever name you give when you're saving the file becomes the file name. Why do we give all this file name? Because it helps us to identify the information which we are storing in that file. Sometimes imagine I'm writing English notes. So what will I put a name for the file? I'll write English notes as the file name. So the next time when I want to open it, it will help me to open the file easily. Yes. Also children, file names have extension. Extension means it is exactly like how we have our surname, right? We all have one surname, right? What is your surname? Your original name, with that you have some surname, right? Family surname. Yes, just like that, our files also have a surname. So it comes with an extension. So it becomes, each and every file is having a different surname. Word file is having a different surname. So how it comes, it is like, now I have written, I'll just open a file and show you. Can you see here on your screen, children? Like any picture file, when you save it, it either gets saved with .bmp, .gif, .jpg, music file. We always say, right, MP3 files, MP3 files. What are that MP3 files? It makes us understand that is a media player, audio music one, correct? Sometimes we also store pictures in our mobile phones or pictures in our laptops and computer system. It gets stored with a file name .jpg. When we see the jpg, we understand that it is a file. Now this file is premlata.dcx document file. Yes, it helps us to understand it is a document file. Imagine I store a picture, it becomes premlata.jpg. Yes, likewise, whatever you are seeing, .jpg, .docx, what are these? These dot, anything written with a dot and following with some alphabets, that is the extension. That is the extension. Looking at the extension only, we understand that this file contains what information. Like for example, yes, when I see premlata.mp3, I will understand that this particular file is a music audio file. Okay, now when I see premlata.jpg, I will understand that this is an image file. I don't have to open it completely. Just with the name and the extension, I can understand what kind of a file it is. Now premlata.docx, by looking at this name, I can understand that the particular file is a Word file, in the sense where I have typed some information. We can identify the type of content which is available in the file just by seeing the file extension. Let us see some of the common file extensions for painting, photographs, images, .png or .jpg. Music files, .avi or .mp3, .avi audio video files. Text file, anything written, .txt or .doc or .odt, .odx, depending upon which software we are using. Every software is having a different extension. Excel, .xls or .xlsx. PowerPoint presentation, .ppt or .pptx. So likewise, we give different types of file extensions as per the information which we are having in that particular file. To work with a file and folder on your computer, you will use File Explorer. Now I'll click on this Windows button. Let us search our File Explorer. Or you will be able to see My PC. From there, you will be able to search the File Explorer. From here, you can search the files. Can you just see here? This is my File Explorer. From here, I will be able to search my different files available on my computer, right? Imagine I have made a file, I have written a story, and I forgot where did I save it. So what should I do? I should come to this PC from where I can open the File Explorer and then click here on the search page, and you can start typing the name of the file which you have saved and click. Imagine now I will want to open Premlata. Yes, and I'll click enter. My computer, you can see on the system, my computer has started working on it. It has started to search the file with the name Premlata, and it will give me the list. Let us just see how it works. So once this comes, I'll show you, okay? Meanwhile, if in File Explorer, you can navigate different folders, open files, delete files, and more. From the File Explorer, you can search many files. You want to delete the files, you can delete. You can delete directly also, but from there also you can delete it, and more actions can be performed through that folder. Let me see. Yes, it's still on working. Many of the computer system, they do have File Explorer icon on the taskbar itself. They don't go directly to this PC, but depending upon your version of the software in your computer systems, you have different icons available on your taskbar or on your computer desktop. So in Windows 8, you have File Explorer symbol. You can see it is like a yellow color icon, right? This particular File Explorer is located on the taskbar only. From there, you can directly click and use it. The system is still on work. It's basic navigations and everything we will be seeing in our next video. Until then, let us wait. My computer is searching for Primrata and it will display over here.